O great tree of my ancestor, I am tired. I am tired of being mocked, laughed at, pointed at like I am nothing. I am a woman, yet they say I am not complete because I cannot bear a child. My mother-in-law calls me names. The market women whisper behind me and laugh loud enough for me to hear. They all look at me like I am cursed. But today, I give up. Do with me whatever you want, but free me from this shame. I came here with a heavy heart, with broken dreams, and with no more strength.
Adana, my child, that which you seek comes with a condition. Are you ready to pay the price?
Who are you? Great one? And what is the condition?
Once upon a time, there lived a very beautiful woman named Adana in the quiet village of Ndiukwu. Adana was not just beautiful, she was like a dream. Her skin was soft like fresh palm oil, smooth and shining like morning dew. Her eyes were like two stars. Her smile could stop a fight. And her steps, gentle like a queen. Any time she passed, men and women would pause and stare. "What kind of beauty is this?" they would whisper. "She looks like a goddess," someone else would say. But behind all the praises was a deep pain, a pain that no one could see. Adana had been married for 7 years to a man named Chijioke. Chijioke was a good man. He loved her so much. He treated her like gold. He never shouted at her. He never raised his hand. He would always say, "Adana, you are my gift from heaven." But there was one problem. Adana had no child. In their village, a woman without a child was seen as nothing. It didn't matter how good, kind, or beautiful she was. The only thing that mattered was if she had a baby. Each time Adana passed by, the whispers would turn into mockery. "See beauty without fruit," some old women would say, shaking their heads. "What is the use of fine skin if your womb is empty?" Others would laugh. Even small children would sing songs to mock her. "Adana the queen, where is your prince?" 7 years of dancing, still no cry of a child. Adana heard everything. Oh yes, she heard them. But she never showed it. She would lift her head high and walk like she heard nothing. Her steps would remain strong, her face calm. But when she got home, she would sit on the bed, lock the door, and cry until her body shook. "Why me?" she would whisper. "What did I do wrong?" Chijioke always found her in tears. He would hold her tight and clean her eyes with his wrapper. "My Adana," he would say softly, "don't let them break you." "But it hurts," she would sob. "They laugh at me like I'm cursed." And Chijioke would reply with his strong voice, "Children will come when God says it's time, and even if they don't, it will never change my love for you. You are worth more than 10 children to me." His words were always like medicine to her soul. Still, the pain didn't stop. One night, after another round of mockery at the stream, Adana sat alone outside their hut, staring at the moon. Then, as Adana sat quietly outside, lost in her pain and staring at the moon, she heard footsteps behind her. She didn't bother to turn, but the moment the voice spoke, her heart sank. It was her mother-in-law, old Mama Nkechi. She folded her arms and stood beside Adana, looking at her with disgust. "So, this is where you hide every night to cry, eh?" the old woman said with a bitter laugh. "Good. Cry well. Maybe your tears will open your womb." Adana still didn't answer. She kept her head low, praying for the old woman to go away. But Mama Nkechi was not done. "You barren woman," she shouted. "Shame on you. I warned my son not to marry you. I told him beauty is not everything. Now look, 7 years, no pregnancy, not even a miscarriage." Adana's heart was beating fast, but she kept her lips sealed. "Leave my son alone," the old woman barked, pointing her finger. "Let another woman come in and give me grandchildren. I want to see my grandchildren before I join my ancestors. Or do you want me to die without hearing a child call me grandmother?" Adana stood up slowly, still silent, her eyes full of tears. She walked past Mama Nkechi without a word, entered her room, and gently closed the door. But once the door clicked shut, she collapsed on the floor and burst into tears. Hot, heavy tears, the kind that burn the heart. She cried and cried until her chest hurt. She buried her face in her pillow so no one would hear her scream. "Why is this happening to me?" she wept. "What did I do to deserve this shame?" Her mind was tired, her body weak, her heart broken. Then a dangerous thought came into her head. Maybe I should leave Chijoki, she thought. Maybe if I go, he can marry another woman. A woman who can give him a child. A woman who can give his mother the grandchildren she wants so badly. He deserves that. He deserves to be called Papa. But as soon as she thought about leaving him, her chest tightened. "No," she whispered. "I can't." She sat up on the bed, hugging her knees. Her heart was pounding, her eyes red and swollen. "I love him too much," she said quietly. "I can't let him go. I can't live without him." Her love for Chijoke was stronger than her pain. Even though her heart was bleeding, her love kept her tied to him like a rope. But inside, a storm was rising. Something had to change, and soon. Adana wiped her tears, tied her wrapper, and carried her basket. She needed to cook something for Chijoke. There was no food in the house, and he had gone out early to work on the farm. She decided to go to the market to buy grains. As she walked through the village path, her heart was heavy, but her face was calm. That was how she had learned to survive. Smile outside, cry inside. But the moment she stepped into the market square, the atmosphere changed. Some women who were selling vegetables looked at her and started whispering. "She's here again," one said. "Looking for food to eat, but not to feed a child," another added with a wicked laugh. Then they laughed louder, making sure she could hear. The laughter followed her like a shadow. Adana tried to ignore them. She walked straight to Mama Uzo's stall, the woman who sold grains. But the moment Mama Uzo saw her, she rolled her eyes. Her stomach was big. She was heavy with pregnancy. "Ah, Barren Queen," Mama Uzo said loudly so others could hear. "What do you want to buy? Please be quick, because the child in my womb cannot stay too long under this hot sun." Her words were sharp like a knife. She rubbed her big stomach proudly as she spoke, laughing in a mocking way. Adana stood there, her face blank. But inside her chest, something broke again. "I just need 3 cups of guinea corn," she said quietly. Mama Uzo measured it slowly, then threw it into her basket without care. Adana paid her and walked away without another word. But as she left, the laughter behind her grew louder. "Look at her," someone shouted. "So beautiful yet empty." "Even my goat gave birth last week," another added. Adana walked faster, her eyes fixed on the ground. When she got home, she dropped the basket at the door, entered the house, and sat on the floor. Her wrapper was still tied, her hands still shaking. Then the tears came again, big, hot tears. She held her chest, crying loudly this time. No more hiding it, no more pretending. "God, why me?" she cried. "What have I done to deserve this shame?" The house was silent except for her sobs. Even the walls seemed to cry with her. After returning from the market and crying herself to sleep, Adana laid quietly on the mat. Her eyes were tired. Her heart was heavy. She had not even entered the kitchen. Her body felt weak. Her spirit was low. She just needed a little peace. But peace refused to find her. Suddenly the door pushed open. It was her mother-in-law. The old woman entered with force, her face hard like stone. She looked around and saw Adana still lying down. She walked closer and used her hand to tap her roughly. "Hey, hey, stand up! Where is my food?" she shouted. Adana quickly sat up and rubbed her eyes. "I'm sorry, Mama. I slept off. I will soon prepare it." Her voice was soft and shaky, but instead of accepting the apology, the old woman burst into laughter, the kind of laughter that carried insult. You slept off. Slept off for what? She barked. Do you have any child waking you at night? Are you washing baby clothes? Do you breastfeed at midnight? She shook her head and clapped her hands slowly. Only women with children have the right to sleep. Not someone like you. Barren woman, stand up now and go and cook something for me to eat. Her words entered Adana's heart like hot pepper in a wound. She didn't say anything. She just stood up quietly, her eyes filled with pain. She walked past the kitchen, but didn't enter. Instead, she kept walking. Out of the house. Out of the compound. She didn't even carry anything with her. No bag, no wrapper, no money. She just walked. Her legs moved fast, like they knew where she was going. She wasn't just walking. She was running away. Away from the shame. Away from the mockery. Away from the pain. She was ready to sacrifice her love for Chijoke. She was ready to disappear forever. She was ready to go far away where nobody would ever see her again, even if it broke her heart into pieces, even if it killed her slowly. At least, there would be peace. Adana walked and walked, her legs shaking, her heart breaking. She didn't know where she was going. Her eyes were full of tears. Her mind was empty. She just wanted to disappear. She didn't stop until she found herself inside a place that looked strange, quiet, dark, and cold. The trees were tall and thick, like they were watching her. Then it hit her. She looked around again, and her heart skipped. She was inside the forbidden forest. Her mother had told her stories about this place when she was a child. It was a forest no one dared to enter. People who went in never came back. They said the spirits of the forest guarded a golden tree that swallowed those with heavy hearts. Fear slowly began to creep in, but Adana did not turn back. She kept walking deeper and deeper until she saw it, the golden tree. It stood tall, bright like fire in the middle of darkness. Its leaves sparkled like gold dust. Its roots moved slowly like snakes. Adana stared at it. She couldn't move. The stories were true. She didn't know how she got there, but she didn't care anymore. Her heart was tired. Her soul was tired. She dropped to her knees. In a low voice, full of pain, she began to speak. "O great tree of my ancestors," she cried, "do with me whatever you want. I come here with a heavy burden. I have been mocked. I am barren. I cannot bear fruit. I am worthless. I am tired. I do not want to go back." Her tears fell to the ground. She closed her eyes, ready for the end. Suddenly, a voice spoke behind her. "Adana!" She turned sharply. There stood an old woman. Her skin was wrinkled like dry leaves. Her hair was white like cotton. She wore a long white wrapper that touched the ground. Her eyes were deep and glowing like moonlight. Adana's heart jumped. She wanted to run, but her legs failed her. The woman walked closer, slowly. "You are not lost, my child," the old woman said calmly. "You were led here." Adana shook with fear. "Who are you?" she asked, her voice shaking. "I am a messenger," the woman said. "The forest heard your cries." She bent down and touched Adana's shoulder. Her hand was cold but peaceful. "What you seek," the woman whispered, "comes with a price." Adana looked into her eyes. They were deep, endless, powerful. Even though she was scared, she was also ready. "I'm not afraid," Adana said. "I'm ready to pay any price. I just want the pain to stop." The old woman smiled, but not with her lips, with her eyes. "Then follow me," she said. And slowly, they disappeared into the heart of the forest. The old woman's voice echoed in the forest like wind through trees. "Go back home, my child. Your husband is looking everywhere for you." Then she opened her palm, and there it was, a golden seed. It shined like the morning sun, small but powerful. It looked just like the leaves of the golden tree. Adana held it carefully, like a precious jewel. "What will happen after I plant this?" she asked, her eyes wide with wonder. The old woman only smiled. "When the time comes, you will know," she said softly. "But remember this. When you reach home, do not speak to anyone. Go straight and plant this seed. Then you may speak." And just like smoke, the woman disappeared into the night. Adana found her way home before morning. Her feet were tired, her dress was torn, her body was weak, but her spirit was alive. Chijioke had been searching for her all night. His heart had almost stopped. He thought he had lost her forever. But when he saw her at the edge of the compound, he ran and hugged her so tight, tears rushing down his face. "My Adana," he cried, "where did you go?" But Adana didn't say a word. She gently removed herself from his arms and walked straight to her backyard. She knelt down, dug a small hole with her hands, and planted the golden seed. Then she covered it with soil and whispered, "Grow, and show me my destiny." From that day, every morning and night, Adana would water the spot. Days passed, then weeks. The seed grew, but not like any normal plant. It grew tall and fast, with golden leaves and a strange glowing stem. It shined under the sun. It sparkled in the moonlight. Even the birds refused to perch on it. People in the village started talking. Some women gathered near the fence and started laughing loudly so Adana could hear. "Look at this one said. "Is this how to find children? By planting useless things?" Another laughed. "Maybe her baby will come from the tree, since her womb has failed her." Adana heard them all, but she said nothing. Every day she watered the plant with her tears and her hope. Then one afternoon, her mother-in-law stormed out of the house. She stood in front of the plant, hands on her waist, face full of disgust. "You, this witch," she shouted. "Where did you get this evil-looking thing? Every day you plant strange plants, but you can't plant a single child in your womb." Adana looked at her, but said nothing. She turned and walked back into the house. Her heart was calm. Her spirit was strong. Because deep inside her, she knew she had a mission. That night, Adana had a strange and beautiful dream. She was sitting in her room all alone when the door slowly opened. A little child, so beautiful, so full of light, walked in. The baby smiled at her and said sweetly, "Mama." Adana's heart melted. She stretched out her hands, tears already forming in her eyes. "My baby," she whispered. But before she could touch him, the child vanished like smoke. She jumped up from sleep, breathing fast, her chest rising and falling. What kind of dream was that? She quickly got up and walked to the backyard. What she saw made her freeze. Her mysterious golden tree had produced a single fruit, one shining golden fruit. It hung from the tree like a sun, glowing softly in the early morning light. No one in the village had ever seen anything like it. She carefully plucked the fruit and held it close. It felt warm, as if it had a heartbeat. She took it inside, placed it gently beside her pillow, and laid down again. Soon she drifted off into sleep. And there she was again, inside the forest of her dream. The old woman in white appeared before her silver hair shining like the moon. "Well done, Adana," the woman said. "You have taken good care of the plant. You have passed the first test. Now, you are ready." "Ready for what?" Adana asked. The woman looked at her and pointed to the golden fruit. "Eat the fruit. If you truly want your child, eat it now. But know this, the child will not belong to you alone. He will come with a destiny of his own, a strong one. When the time comes, he will choose his path, and you must not stop him." Adana frowned. "What do you mean? Why must I share him? I have suffered. I want him to be mine, only mine." The woman looked deep into her eyes. "Or you can refuse to eat it, and remain barren forever." Adana trembled. The memory of all the insults, the mockery, the name barren woman echoed in her head. Her heart ached. She opened her eyes. Without thinking again, she picked the fruit and took a bite. It was the sweetest thing she had ever tasted. Golden juice ran down her fingers. Her body felt warm. Her belly felt like something alive had entered it. Her eyes rolled gently back as peace and power washed over her. She didn't even realize when she finished the whole fruit. Then, silence. In the weeks that followed, Adana began to feel strange. She was always tired. Her appetite changed. Her body began to glow. Her skin looked brighter. Her eyes sparkled like stars. Then one morning she touched her stomach and screamed softly. A kick. She was pregnant. Adana could not believe it. She waited for 1 month before telling Chujoke. When she finally told him, he fell to the ground and cried like a baby. "You mean it? You're carrying our child?" he asked, holding her face. "Yes," she whispered. Tears of joy washed them both. They held each other for so long that the world seemed to stop. When her mother-in-law heard the news, she ran out shouting, "Thank you, my ancestors. My daughter-in-law is finally carrying my grandchild." The woman who once insulted Adana now treated her like gold. She cooked for her, gave her herbs, and protected her from gossip. Neighbors came around. Women who once mocked her now came with gifts and fake smiles. "Adana, who did you visit? What native doctor helped you? Where did you go to?" But Adana only smiled. She said nothing, because she knew this blessing came from a place no one would believe, and the child in her womb was not ordinary. After many years of sorrow and shame, Adana finally became a mother. She held her baby close and wept tears of joy every day. But from the very moment the child was born, strange things began to happen. His eyes were golden, just like the fruit she had eaten. When he cried, the wind would blow suddenly. When he laughed, flowers bloomed around the compound. Even as a baby, he never fell sick. He never cried for too long. Animals gathered around their house at night, goats, birds, even monkeys, just sitting quietly near his window as if guarding something sacred. At first, Adana thought it was just a coincidence, until one day when he was barely a year old. She had strapped him on her back and gone to the market. As she walked with the other women, the clouds suddenly turned dark, and rain began to fall heavily. People screamed and ran for cover, hiding under shops and canopies. Adana was about to run too, but her son, still a baby, raised his tiny hand, and the rain stopped, just like that. Not slowed down, stopped. The clouds cleared. The sun returned. Everyone stood still. Their mouths opened wide. "Is this a joke?" one woman whispered. Another crossed herself. "What kind of child is this?" Adana felt cold all over. She ran home in fear, holding her son tighter. But deep inside, she knew. This child was not ordinary. By the time he turned 5, people from different villages came to see him. Sick people came, blind, lame, dying, and he healed them with just a touch or a word. If he sat outside to play, wild animals would come out of the forest and sit beside him, deer, snakes, even lions. Yet they never harmed him. Instead, they played with him like he was one of them. It scared Adana. It amazed the villagers. They started calling him Izimuo, the Spirit King. But Adana's heart was heavy. She remembered what the old woman said. "He will not be yours alone." On his 7th birthday, Adana woke up with a strange feeling in her chest. A quiet voice whispered in her heart, "Go back to the forest." She looked at her son, still sleeping peacefully. Then she wrapped him in a cloth, carried him on her back, and walked straight into the forbidden forest, back to the golden tree. This time, the trees did not frighten her. The forest was calm. The wind danced gently. She went straight to the golden tree, knelt down, and held her son close. She placed her palm on the earth and whispered, "Great tree, I have come again. Please speak to me. I want to know what lies ahead for my son." There was silence. Nothing moved. Then, like the last time, the old woman appeared, dressed in white, her silver hair glowing like moonlight. Adana bowed low and began to cry. "Wise one, my son is doing wonders. People fear him. They worship him. He is just a child. I came to know what lies ahead for him." The old woman smiled kindly. "I told you before, Adana. Your son is not yours alone. He belongs to the spirit world. His path is not an ordinary one." Adana shook her head, holding her son tighter. "But when? When will this happen? When will I lose him?" The woman gently touched Adana's face. "You will not lose him. But you must release him when the time comes. For now, take him home. Let him grow. Let him laugh. Let him learn. You will know when the time comes." Tears rolled down Adana's cheeks, but she nodded. Even though her heart feared the future, she was grateful for the present. At least now she was a mother, and her son was a miracle. Chijoki loved his son so deeply, sometimes it made Adana smile through her tears. He named the boy Chimobi, God knows my heart, because truly, only God knew what that child meant to him. He gave him the best education in the city, and Chimobi never disappointed them. From primary to secondary, he was always the best in his class. But it wasn't just his brilliance that amazed people, it was the miracles. If a child fainted in school, Chimobi would walk to them quietly, place his small hand on their chest, and whisper a word. Immediately, they would sit up strong and whole. Teachers feared him. Students adored him. News of his wonders spread far and wide. Reporters came. Priests came. Even kings came. But Chimobi remained humble and quiet, always respectful, always cheerful. At age 17, he graduated from the university as the best student, with people clapping so loud they lost their voices. But as he turned 18, something changed. That morning, the sky was golden. A soft breeze swept through the house. Birds gathered in the compound and began to sing without stopping. Adana came out, confused. Then Chimobi walked up to her slowly, his eyes glowing with quiet light. He hugged her tightly, burying his face in her chest. "Mama," he whispered, "you know I love you very much, right?" Adana's eyes filled with tears. "I know, my son. I love you too. Always." Chimobi pulled back gently and smiled. "I will always be with you. I won't leave you. I will be here, in spirit, anytime you need me. But now, it's time for me to go." Adana's knees weakened. "No," she whispered. "Yes, Mama," he said, wiping her tears. "The spirits are calling me. My purpose must continue. But I'm not dying. I'm only going where I belong." She hugged him tightly, her body shaking. "I will miss you, Chimobi," she cried. "I will miss you too, Mama. But don't cry for me. Just promise me. Take care of Papa. Be strong." Then, with his small bag, Chimobi walked away. No one saw where he went. He disappeared into the golden forest and never came back. The village mourned. Yet they also rejoiced because they had witnessed a god in human form. People came from far and near to see Adana. They praised her strength. They bowed to her. They asked her to tell her story. She only said one thing: "Don't mock people who are passing through challenges. Life has seasons. Some are quiet, some are loud, but all have purpose." 9 months later, she gave birth again. A beautiful baby boy. She smiled through her tears and named him Chinedu. God leads. And so the story of Adana, the barren woman, became the greatest lesson the village ever learned. Never laugh at another's pain, because the same woman you mock today may give birth to a miracle tomorrow.